We are live. It's the Full Force News Burst with a special guest, Phoebe. I'm kidding. It's Mark talking Joe Seddon.
I didn't know we were doing dogs. I don't mind.
I've gone full on animal companion, haven't I, sweetheart?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Based on all of the cool reveals that have happened today. Hi. Are you helping or hindering? I can't even tell. Perfect timing. Mark had no idea that was going to happen. Anyway, yes, we are live for the new. Good girl. We are live for the News Burst live, and Mark has jumped on to help chat about that amazing panel we just saw. How good was that, buddy?
There was a lot of stuff going on. A whole lot of things that I was not expecting.
A whole lot of things and stuff. Exactly. We've already got loads of comments coming in, guys. Thank you so much, Action J, Ryan Daly, Diecast Nick, Phoebe for pressing buttons in the background, Ed, the Straight Edge, Joe Barrett, Jace, all of you guys, Christoph Black, Yo Joe, Full Force lads and lasses. Right, we're going to get stuck in then to this amazing panel from Lenny and Emily, classified panel at Sdcc, day 4 of my recap extravaganza. And like I said, Mark's joining me all the way from there, Talking Joe, to get stuck into these. So without further ado, let's transition by blowing the place up. Pow! We are in the house. There you go. Look, smooth you like. Right. So yes, Sdcc day 4 classified panel recap. I'm just reading what the screen's telling me to read. Emily and Lenny from Hasbro did an amazing panel, and we're going to take you through all of the different things. If you missed it, or if you're just seeing information about it, or if you haven't seen anything about it, let's go through and see what awesome things they've done.
I'm going to be doing a lot of reacting in real time here, because I was recording with Tim just a second ago. So
brilliant. So
all I've seen is the pictures so far.
Fantastic.
Well, I'm learning as we go.
Let's get some information in here then. First off, they basically said this is the first ever in-person G.I. Joe Classified Series panel. And then they explained like the agenda of what they were going to be doing. So straight away, I'm looking at that like 2023 character reveals, figure reveals, obviously his tank talk, that makes a lot of sense. And then super early development sneak peeks. I'm looking at it like, that is one hell of a panel. I thought this was going to be like a design behind the scenes kind of chat and all that kind of stuff. Not even close. It didn't really explain it properly in the official blurb beforehand. And then we get all of this cool stuff. Which was great. So they're not going to be launching any more pre-orders today. So that's a bit of a relaxing on the wallet a little bit. But they did reveal a couple of cool things to start with. So first off, they went with name-only reveals in Low Light and the Cobra Flight Pod, a.k.a. the Trouble Bubble. But it's also going to come with a Televiper, guys.
What?
The Cobra Flight Pod is going to come with a Televiper. How amazing. And that's kind of like, I'm just going to say it now and then I'll ask your opinion on this, Mark, but reminds me very much of what they did Breaker with the Ram, because he was on the card art for the vehicle. What are your thoughts of them doing that for a start? Because people have been asking for this for ages, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's not totally, out of the blue, because, when you're thinking about can you do smaller Ram-sized kind of vehicles, there's a limited amount to go from, and they've had the Trouble Bubble on some of the package art as well, haven't they? So it's kind of lurking in the background. So it's not totally out of the blue, but I wasn't expecting them to reveal it today, to be honest.
I also wasn't expecting. And with a Televiper as well. How great was that?
In teeny tiny fonts. That's too small font for the kudos that the Televiper deserves. Because particularly for us Brits, the Televiper in 80 whatever it was, 84, wasn't that 7? Okay, let's call it.
Yeah. 87 for us. It was like 80.
He was
5.
Yeah. So he was the main character. If the the licensing literature would say anything to go by. So for us, I think is a character that was burned into our brains
from big time. Merchandise, comics, Televiper was front and center, and the VHS episodes, they always had Televipers in those VHS episodes. Basically, like I remember Worlds Without End had Televipers in, and they get one of them is like putting a fire out, and he gets crushed by a wall, and he looks up and he goes, ah, and like ouch goes across his screen. It's amazing. Anyway. Yeah, so that was really cool. Low Light is another amazing character to be brought into the line. Excited for him?
Oh yeah, I mean, Low Light's a great figure, great design, and you can, he's had a good modern interpretation as well, and you can see him being a perfect classified contender, and so opportunity for so many cool accessories as well.
I feel like they're dipping into all the Pursuit of Cobra classics, aren't they? Like that had tons and tons of gear, and I think Low Light's definitely one of those characters. Black Star Ninja says, "Woo, great reveals. How do we keep up with this? I'm going to go poor." You and probably everyone in this chat the same.
We're coining a term, pre-poor, which is where you're finding out all of these things and making pre-orders, and maybe you've not spent the money yet, but future you is poor because of all of these things that have happened.
Pre-orders. Amazing. Joe Barrett says, "I'm over the moon with all the goidies."
The goidies, gotta live them goidies.
The goidies, out in New Jersey. We'll get to the digital renders, Eduardo. We're just going through this very slowly to make the most out of the stream. David Warren Hernandez with a little cheeky segue event. We'll get to that soon as well, David. Yes, this I command indeed. Payne's Toy Sample says positive movement, excitement increased. Absolutely. It's all looking great. We'll get to some of your comments, guys. I know they're pouring in and it's great and it's awesome, but we're going to get through this. So Low Light, first off, a name only reveal, and the Cobra Flight Pod with a Televiper. So excited. Just for those 3 items, even though they're kind of 2 items already. So if that wasn't cool enough, right? That if they're not just going to go, well, we're going to go, like, this is a conversation that Lenny and I had at the breakfast table this morning, says Emily, and here are the reveals we're doing. They went and did some retro card back reveals. Now, I will say that we have known about the last 2 retro card back figures for some time. However, the Crimson Guard was not one of those 2 items. So they've changed that. They've made a bit of course correction by the sounds of things here. And I think what's happened is because it's the last 2 figures, and I'm not going to tell you what figure we expected it to be because I don't want to do that, and it might be, I'm just not going to do it. But it wasn't going to be the Crimson Guard. It was a Cobra character, but it wasn't going to be the Crimson Guard. And I think what they were doing was they were saying, okay, well, let's finish strong with an army builder, which would make sense for people wanting to army build Crimson Guards in both the main line and now the retro cardback series, and of course Snake Eyes. So the Snake Eyes cardback, we knew Snake Eyes was going to be the version 1 with all the kind of version 1 gear, and that's basically what you're getting with this Snake Eyes.
I see.
Yeah, well,
right.
you say I see.
I can't see. I can't. Is it a silhouette or is it just a terrible photo?
It is terribly. Well, actually, this is the best photo I've found. This is big thanks to Fwoosh VB, VB of the Fwoosh cast, who basically was sitting in a really good spot taking these pictures. I was taking pictures and posting them up off a stream that was basically just the back of this guy's head for most of it. And I'm trying to take pictures, trying to cut his bald spot out. No disrespect, but yeah, it was like in the way literally the whole time. So really, thank you to VB for getting these images. They're not the best, but
I did see this and I thought, is this meant to be like a sort of a kind of a very vague reveal? All we're seeing is the silhouette. But yeah, I can see some of the details.
You can just about make out the goggles, can't you, on the Alpha Commando
and some of the straps. Yeah,
looks like a bit. Yeah. It's effectively that Alpha Commando Snake Eyes with a few different accessories. You've got him there, have you?
Nah,
there he is. Sorry, maybe threw up in my mouth.
It's not Zorana.
Oh, don't say. Serana! I didn't know it was you.
It wasn't. It was Snake Eyes. It was Snake Eyes all along.
It was Snake Eyes the whole time. Thrasher. That's how he says his own name. Thrasher. Anyway, yes. Let's get stuck into the rest of his reveals.
We've got a comment there. How many Snake Eyes is this now? that will put you on
Okay.
the spot.
No,
So
it won't.
those
Deluxe.
deluxe.
Retail.
Yeah.
Retail, slightly different variant, packaging variant with the red dot
Okay.
missing. You
All
can.
right,
I'm going
yeah.
to count that. Let's count that just to make this exaggeration
Mhm.
even more exaggerated. Then you've got Alpha Commandos. Then you've got Snake Eyes and Timber, and now you've got Retro Cardback. So there's been 6 Snake Eyes so far.
And Fortnite Snake Eyes as well.
So how do I forget that every time? 7 snack pies, as I like to call them. That's a lot of snack pies, isn't it not? And look, I'm even rocking a Snake Eyes t-shirt
Oh, well,
here,
nice.
like that with Timber, and my Snake Eyes hat as well, isn't it? Because there's so many Snake Eyes, it's ridiculous. But there you go, 7 in all. If you count that kind of packaging variant, where effectively they've taken the knife out of the package and put it in the sheath, and they've taken the red dot off him, that's not really worth. Well, let's say 7. It's a lot though. Anyway. There we go. That is the retro card back reveals. The last 2 retro card back figures, if you don't count Cobra Commander, which we'll be looking at in a second. But the next thing they revealed was the mighty Serpentor. Now, when I first saw this image, I thought, they haven't, because full disclosure, I'd seen this figure for many numbers of months, and it always had the crest in the back, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. But lo and behold, and we'll see in a moment, that is also included in the packaging. Like, you can add it or not add it and have him in 2 different kind of styles, which is brilliant again, isn't it? I mean, how good does he look to you right there, mate?
Well, I mean, that, looking at that photo, it looks more like a statue, doesn't it? It's I saw the kind of the sort of the leaked prototype kind of in the funky colors and stuff, and looking at those, I was thinking, I'm not too sure if I'm sort of feeling the vibe on this one, but now seeing this,
are your berries buzzed now?
There's some buzzed berries over here. It's looking good, and you got some soft goods on the cloak as well. The cloak is looking good.
I like that. It's almost like a partnership with Dr. Mindbender a little bit. Like, the packaging's similar and can go side by side, which we'll see in a moment. Like, obviously they've both got the kind of soft good cape kind of scenario going on. It's like it's interesting, isn't it? We've got these kind of like those 2 characters launched effectively at the same time, which is obvious. It makes a lot of sense. Dr. Mindbender has to come first to then create Serpentor.
Of course.
So that makes a lot of sense. But no, I absolutely think this is incredible. And not just that, but there you go. There you see the crest behind him now. Yeah. And also, more importantly, the air chariot. And Lenny was showing us some cool stuff, but I was trying to pay attention and post images. It was very difficult, but it looks as though the 50 cal guns come off. The mouth opens to reveal like a little machine gun or something. There's a lot of cool features on this one. And yeah, what do you think of that?
It looks good, doesn't it? It does look impressive.
It's massive, isn't it? It's big. I think that's bigger in scale to the figure of the original and the air chariot, in my opinion. It looks like it's not.
You might be right. Yeah.
It looks like it's a lot bigger on the 6-inch figure than it ever looked on the 4-inch figure. Wow, that's amazing. Oh, wow. This is kind of like, funnily enough, you're talking about reacting to this early. I haven't really taken anything in. I haven't looked at anything. I haven't really given it the time of day. I've just been like, post. I have not been really looking at it. So this is the first time.
It's got a giant golden cobra staff thing going on as well.
Beautiful. And also,
you've got
the kind of like bladed wrist gauntlet thing as well, which is pretty
Wolverine
dope
thing
on that
going
one.
on.
Yeah, Serpentorine, Wolverentor. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, really cool. And we'll see a few more of the accessories in a second as well. Here, wow. Okay, so there's a sword on the left, then the staff, and then something else. Serpentor himself, and then there's the cowl bit at the back on the other side. And there's some other bits and bobs in there too, but it's hard to make out, isn't it? What a crazy. And again, works really well with Mindbender's packaging. Like, almost, I think you can create one giant like display piece with it. You into that?
It's looking good. I mean, it's kind of what I think classified, what people really want from classified and what they've been learning from the line is not to go kind of stray too far away from some of the core concepts and some of the key designs that people love, from all of that nostalgia factor. But at that extra scale, you could just add in all of these details. You can add in maybe extra accessories that they never had before, and just do a little bit more and sort of tweak it more, and that seems to be doing what they've done here to a T, that they've got the essence of that original Serpentor character, Air Chariot, and at that scale and at that in that era, you could only do so much. So there's a certain amount of I guess giving an idea, suggesting something in the design, whereas here they're kind of really able to kind of get down into the detail of it.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Jay says, "How much did Chris pay Mark to bring up Zoran?" I didn't know it was you. I did it on purpose. Then David says, "If we ever get another live action movie, Chris has to get the part as Thrasher." I agree. Matt O'Brien, this is actually a good point, because I thought the same thing here, but everyone, hope all is well. I need to vent for a second. I love this line and I'm a completionist, but how do they not provide a microphone to people asking questions? Come on, lol. That was a good point, because when it got to the Q&A part, couldn't hear a thing, just about heard the responses, and you have to then work out what the question was. It was like Jeopardy, wasn't it? It was like a really poor edition of Jeopardy.
What does that sound like the answer to? In the comments, there's a fair amount of speculation as to what the price point might be for.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts, Chris?
I don't know. I'm thinking like it's going to be a little bit more, I think, than Breaker and Baroness. So what they were in like the 40s, weren't they? I want to say like 40 something bucks. I would say this is probably in the 60 range. It might be cheaper, but it just feels to me like it's probably more in the 60 range, with when you take into account the Air Chariot, which is a lot bigger. They've really gone to town on the packaging. I think this is probably pushing it a little bit higher than that. What do you think on that one?
I mean, kind of in the figure alone, it's kind of at that Mindbender tier, isn't it? So it's like if you start with the figure at a Mindbender price, and then you add on the vehicle on top of that, you can see it getting into maybe the 60s, something like that.
I would be surprised if it's like in the 80s. I'll be like, oh, they really are, trying to crank that one out. But I don't think they haven't really given us that. Other than, I would say, I'm trying to think actually now. When I'm thinking about the 3-pack, the Viper 3-pack was like close to $90, wasn't it? I know that's 3 figures, but you're probably talking a similar amount of, especially from their point of view, what they're thinking here and the value of this. Maybe it could be up in that upper echelon. I mean, it's hard to say, really. And also, I'm kind of like thinking, well, we don't have to think about or worry about it until PulseCon at least. By the sounds of things, this is a Pulse exclusive. They might have said PulseCon exclusive, but I think, or might have meant PulseCon exclusive, but I heard Pulse exclusive, which usually means PulseCon anyway, especially if with PulseCon coming up. But yeah, a lot of people saying like 80, some people saying like 60. But yeah, and some even saying 90. So who knows? We'll find out pretty soon, I'd imagine. But yeah, wonderful. And also, we wanted to go live soon, so I didn't want to wait for the recap and then get better images. So we've gone with these. There will be better images, guys. I'm sure Hasbro probably posted them since we've been on. And then, yeah, Toy Bounty Hunter says, "Wait, what does it matter? We're going to get that no matter the price," and it's so true. Yeah, okay, cool. Right, so next up, Lenny and Emily talked about the Hiss tank. They did some pretty cool stuff, actually. They explained that there would be batteries, which I actually knew about, forgot to mention. A shout out to Luke Poulon, who actually asked me the question. He said, how do they charge the lights? And I said, I think they mentioned it in the stream. And he said, and he went back and watched it and said, I couldn't hear anything about what they actually use, like USB or batteries or whatever. And so I asked Lenny, and I went back to Luke and I said, oh, he told me it's batteries. And he said, oh, cool, then you might want to let that be known, because I don't think people are aware. And I went, oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I'll do that. And then completely forgot. So Lenny effectively revealed that on the panel, I think, today, unless he's been mentioned in the interim. But yeah, I think it's 3. Did she say double or triple A batteries? I think Emily said 3 triple A batteries, I think she said, which, yeah, is cool. And I think the battery pack is under the neck, as it were, of the HISS tank. What am I doing that for? Like I'm a HISS tank. It's kind of under there, I think, as he gets out the Megatron hiss just to rub it into everyone's faces again. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And there was a brilliant, I think, I can't remember who it was in the audience who offered, he said, I've got batteries if you need them. And they did a whole display, did a whole demonstration of the lights. And Emily actually put the light, the Cobra symbol up against the wall. And it's actually a lot stronger than I expected. It's really cool, that. You still there?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I was getting distracted, but I was trying to find some better images for some of these things. I found a nice big Serpentor close up. So I was getting a bit distracted by that. Sorry.
I can allow you to share sometimes as well, can't I? On this.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to. But while we're talking, while we're kind of still on the Serpentor vibe. What do I have to do on this end?
I'm gonna add my screen, and then it should pop up.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the stuff. Bosh! Oh my word! Bosh. So this is now on the shop floor, isn't it? I guess on like showing off.
I think so. This looks like from the Hasbro booth. It looks like.
Funnily enough, on this morning's weekly, Pat and I were talking about back in the day, like the concept case stuff that used to happen at JoeCons. And how it had a similar vibe on the Hasbro show floor to this time around at Sdcc. And we were joking at the fact that when they would be talking in a panel, everyone's attention would be on the panel. And in the meantime, some cheeky Hasbro person was like, putting all the figures in. And that's exactly what happened here, wasn't it? Everyone's focusing on this panel, and then in the background, some cheeky ninja's gone in and just gone whoop, 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 whoop. So yeah, that's awesome. And it really shows off the details on the front of that chariot. That's a really great upgrade, isn't it?
It's cool. It does look cool. It looks like it's got like an ammo belt feed for those
the 50 cals.
Like 50 cals. Yeah.
I like how it's like very very reminiscent of the vintage design. But there's aspects on it that are proper good upgrades, like the texture on the head, on the actual. Again, this is the head of the on my body. This is the head of the snake here. I love all the textures around and all the flaps. I love all the flaps. I'm all about flaps. It's amazing. Anyway, amazing, so cool. Thanks for sharing that, dude. I really appreciate it. Cool. I'm going to pop this back in and we'll chat about the HISS tank. So amazingly, they broke 17k last night, and I imagine there's going to be some more to come with the HISS tank. I don't know if there's anything coming, but I feel like they've got more up their sleeve. What do you? I mean, do you want them to do something else, Mark?
I would really want to. I mean, I think I've not done it yet. I'm pretending that I'm on the fence, but I think my FOMO would be too big that I didn't actually order it. But I think it will be if there's some last thing, have that, because a lot of the people, if they've got a lot of people who are going to get it will have backed already by this point.
Yeah.
And just to have that last push, put in something, get all of the fence sitters, all in, and get up some big even bigger numbers.
RKW's put a good point out, actually. You can use those guns with roadblocks. So the guns on the air chariot, absolutely, RK. Yeah, that's a great point, actually. Vahika Al is like, I'm so happy I started collecting these. Mate, I think a lot of people are. This is a successful, crazy good line, isn't it? Like, it is amazing. Lance Everett says, I'm completely satisfied with what the HISS is coming with, but wouldn't say no to extra goodies. That being said, I don't think there will be another tier. Well, there'll be plenty of tiers, Lance, if there isn't another tier. I can tell you that much. I agree, though. I'm very satisfied with what that HISS and what it comes with is currently doing. So I'm more than happy. And not just that, but one of the tiers was on show with the Cobra Commander, classic Cobra Commander figure. So they've got like a fairly decent version of that in hand. Again, I will be I imagine I'll put those images up on the show floor again. So I'm hoping to be sharing those after this particular episode is over. But yeah, very, very awesome. We get a good look at Cobra Commander 2. But then that wasn't it, was it? We had even more cool reveals to come, starting with super early development sneak peeks. I love the fact they said sneak peeks. I'm like, oh, we're doing sneak peek. No, not sneak peek. There needs to be a character called super early and development just to really confuse people. No, rock and roll, and it looks like he is version 1, kind of reminiscent. Thoughts on that one, buddy?
Yeah, show and tell. I got my rock and roll. There he is.
That's an impressive. That's a good figure. Is that ton up though?
No, I think this is a proper rock and roll.
That's a rock and roll.
Yeah, ton up was, I think, it's fairly hard to come by. So yeah, for those not in the know, that ton up was basically rock and roll that came with the UK version of the Wolverine at one point.
Correct.
Yeah, I think there's a real appetite for seeing the classic
OG.
kind of OG, when you think of a particular character, what do you go to for that character? And rock and roll, as a comics fan, is such a big part of the lineup.
One thing I want to mention, actually, Ed's just made. Ed. Yeah, sir, can I speak? Ed has just made a good point on the hiss tank here. Now, Ed, you're saying that Lenny said today the hiss will come with blast effects. He didn't actually say that. He said the hiss will be compatible with blast effects, but they're not going to come with the hiss tank. What the blast effects will be in the main line with other releases, and they will be compatible with the hiss tank, is these exact words. So just to I don't want to kind of make people think that we're going to get blast effects, excuse me, with the hiss directly, because that isn't going to happen. It's going to be that they're compatible. They're still working out engineering how the blast effects will work, and then the blast effects will come with other items in the main line, and then those will be compatible with the hiss tank. I hope that doesn't confuse anybody, but that is what Lenny because I was listening intently at that point. I was writing notes and everything at that point. So I just wanted to make that clear to everyone. Coming back to rock and roll, very good point there, Mark. I think a lot of people have been saying things like, I really want the OG 13. It's a shame that it's going to take a while to get them. It looks like they are literally accelerating the line in order to get us the OG 13. So, and I'm not going to include Heavy Artillery Roadblock because he was after that period of time, but he definitely fits that aesthetic. But you've definitely got like Snake Eyes Alpha Commandos. You've got Breaker, and then you've got Grunt on the way. Rock and Roll now we know is version 1 on the way. There's more. Completely forgot. They've just completely left my mind. But yeah, it looks as though Stalker. Thank you. I'm looking at him. He is literally in front of me. I was looking at him as I was trying to think of more characters. What an idiot I am sometimes. Yeah, Stalker's the other one. So we're getting there. And I feel that Scarlet's probably going to get a redo at some point based on the fact that everyone seems to be getting a bit of a redo from that early wave of figures. So I think we're definitely on the road for the OG 13 sooner rather than later, in my opinion.
Payne's toy sample says flashing Grand Slam. So yeah, if they do one, then you got two. And actually paint one of them silver, one of them red. Why not?
Exactly. Yeah. And then obviously that one can come with, was it the jump pack? Yeah. So yeah, and then obviously you've got Hawk. And then he could come with what did he come with? He comes with like I want to say it was
it MMS,
system.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a missile system, isn't it? Yeah. So you've got Hawk, you've got Short Fuse is another one would be really cool. You could definitely get the OG 13 sooner rather than later. I think within the next couple of years, we'll probably be very close to filling that up. Oh, typical, right? Pat isn't here.
No, Pat.
Right? Pat was on the show earlier, didn't get any Naked HD, and we come on the show today, no Pat, and Naked HD is all over it. Unbelievable. I'm blocking the user anyway. Oh, an error occurred, so I can't block them.
Typical
Brilliant.
Pat.
Typical Pat. Yes. Oh, Zap was the other
Classic
one. Yes,
Pat.
thank you guys. Zap, Steeler, and that's it. Okay, that's everyone now, I think. Zap and Steeler are the other ones. But yeah, again, I still think we're going to see some of this stuff. And I'm willing to bet we'll get another HasLab to get Steeler, if you know what I'm talking about.
You think? I mean, is the Steelers tank an exciting enough vehicle though for them to go in?
Yeah, but it's iconic, I guess. It's on issue 1. It's on the carry case artwork. It's like everyone knows. I mean, personally, I'd love a Mauler. Don't get me wrong. The Mauler is, I think, the sexier of the two tanks. But to get Steeler done, I think that would be a good one. That's a good shout, actually, Robert H. Excuse me. Steeler with the armadillo would be a good shout too. Totally. Yeah,
that's more achievable, isn't it?
All right, ruined my life. Anyway, rock and roll, awesome, great reveal, and I love all the accessories he comes with. They're packing them out with accessories. This group of figures, by the way. When we look at the rest of them, there's tons. That's a long. Is that a long bullet belt and the 2 strap secondary bullet belt, which looks like it comes off?
Right. Yeah. So he's got his his body bullets, and then he's got a one that actually feeds the gun.
That's going to be a great figure in it. I have really not looked at this, and it looks awesome.
Here we go. Ryan Daly said, "Love that Rock and Roll's ammo belt will feed into the gun from the box on his hip."
Brilliant. Neat. Absolutely brilliant. I'm trying to find that. There it is. Yeah, brilliant comment, Ryan, and totally spot on there. Yeah, there's a lot going on, isn't there, in those accessories? Some of it's like it's hard to kind of, I guess it's like, just straps like the holster and things like that, and little leg straps. Anyway, awesome, very awesome. Doggy barks, mate. Don't worry about it. Phoebe's constantly barking. She's great. She's part of the show now. Okay, cool. Thanks for all the comments, guys. These are great. Keep them coming in. If we miss anything, you can fill us in with stuff that we've missed. That's also awesome. So thank you for all of this. Let's move on to the next early development sneak peek, and that is Torpedo. And my goody gumdrops, look at the gear he comes with. What an awesome way to do Torpedo.
Yeah, there's a whole lot going on there. It's just, a lot to take in, just all of that stuff. I like that they've given him a cool machine gun as well,
That I just want to see if
as well as his standard aquatic gear.
It's not quite the same as this, but it's in the same family, isn't it? Like that kind of H&K kind of rifle.
Yeah. Like a bit like I think it's a H&K that like your SAS trooper would have come with.
The MP5. I was oddly transfixed on that particular weapon, and then thankfully we get one with Tomax and Zaymor, which is cool, with a big suppressor on the end of it. Anyway, which can come off, by the way. You don't need to have that on there all the whole time. But yeah, really awesome. And I love that the Torpedo, they've done him with the kind of like the head sculpt has got the kind of like wetsuit kind of thing on it. Not to be confused with Wetsuit, who is a completely different character. But love that. Really awesome figure. I'm excited now for Torpedo, mate, and I didn't think I would be. Like I go on.
I was gonna say I can't read my own handwriting, but on Twitter the sculptor tweeted, I think it's Paul Harding.
Paul Harding, brilliant.
So he said this was his first classified project that he's worked on.
Awesome. Yeah, Paul's been doing loads of awesome stuff, hasn't he? Like he was doing the Mirage Turtles for NECA. I was impressed with those. But he's been doing loads of stuff in all sorts of different lines. And obviously, when you've got like someone like him, Fred Axon, Corey Cantalupe, all these like amazing sculpt people Corey's the sculpt manager as well, but like they're doing such amazing work on this line. And I'm really happy that Paul is now on board with Classified. It feels and sounds like the team is growing, does it not?
Well, the amount of stuff that they're putting out, hard enough keeping up with it, never mind actually producing it. So you've got to have some people.
Sean is saying, I'm hoping that mask is transparent. I probably imagine it would be, mate, or to some degree. There might be some silver deco on it or something, but maybe they might go transparent on it. Droz is saying eels would be awesome to come later on. Eels up inside ya, finding an entrance where they can. Eels. I have to do it every time. It's like OCD. Tyrone says, really hope Torpedo has a hinged neck and not the dumbbell so it can look all the way up. That's a very good point, Tyrone, because we did look on when I was doing my unboxing the other day at Stalker's head, and it's on a ball, rather like a dumbbell, so you get less kind of movement looking up and down, which is a little bit of a shame, because I wanted to, I wanted him laying down maybe and kind of looking up a bit, kind of sniper neck on old Action Man figures. But I'm hoping that is the case with Torpedo, because he kind of needs it. He needs to be looking forward when he's swimming. But yeah, good point. Andrew Clark says, looks like an MP5 with AR elements with a 7.76 magazine rather than 9mm. Andrew, that's far too much detail, and I love it. Thank you very much.
Your word.
Well, yeah, we're just going to say yes, because that sounds absolutely spot on. And the mask is separate as well. So yeah, that's going to come. Hopefully it would be see-through so you can see his eyes. That would be really cool. Who knows? We will find out by PulseCon, maybe. I don't know. Rob H says, what's the point of a torpedo without a tube to shoot it out of? Good point. Very good point.
I guess.
Sean says, I'll need a flight stand to put him in a swimming pose. That's a good idea. I like that. And Luke, who I just mentioned earlier on, who filled me in the battery scenario, said, hopefully Torpedo will get to look up like previous classified figures and not like the new head ball joint on Stalker, Tomax, and Zaymot. Absolutely. Oh, here's another question. Here we go. Matt says, Chris, did you understand what Emily meant when she said they were moving more towards deluxe figures at prices of $29 to $35? I think it was in the same thing as when they talked about the plastic. Yeah, she did mention that, but from what I could gather at the time, that particular comment was about doing a few, not moving towards it like in fully, but doing more of them. So you get that kind of the mainline figure at like $24.99. It's basically creating more price points in the lineup. That's all she was talking about, really. And that kind of minor deluxe figure where they come with a few more pieces like Kamakura, Sergeant Slaughter. Who else is in that zone? There are more. I would imagine they're kind of doing that so that we can get figures with tons of cool gear. And yeah, that's keeping like a balance, I guess, of some characters without loads and loads of stuff and some with, kind of gives you that flexibility, I guess. I don't know, I'm sounding a little bit like a Hasbro employee. Anyway, Torpedo, awesome, very cool, happy with that one. I would actually say that, here's a question for you, Mark. Torpedo or wetsuit? You have to choose. You have to. Gun to your head.
Torpedo. I think I'm sort of generally drawn towards the more grounded kind of design elements. I'm not quite the neon chap. So it's Torpedo, but as a figure, probably wetsuit. Wetsuit's the sculpting on the original wetsuit is a bit more interesting than the original Torpedo.
That's the correct answer. I would have also accepted
got a bit of
Deep Six version 2. I'd have accepted that as well. Eco Warriors Deep Six. I'd have accepted that too. Oh, brilliant! Here we go. So you're showing me guns.
We've
now.
Got some controversy on what the gun might be between two competing camps here. So Bjorn is saying that he thinks it's a CQB, and it does.
Let's look at it again.
It does look very close.
Very reminiscent of that, yeah.
I'm not saying I'm an expert enough to tell the difference.
But no, it's nice to get a little bit of controversy, a little bit of an argument going on. I like it. Actually, we can just ask the design. We can just ask Lenny, can't we, at some point and see what he says. Anyway, this is Torpedo. Very excited for Torpedoes. Oh, can't believe it. Awesome, very awesome stuff. Now, this also opens the door for Tiger Force Torpedo, by the way, who was never released, but you can see a Torpedo in the Tiger Shark image on a leaflet, basically. I don't have the image at hand, but you can just see his head, and it was orange. So I'm hoping that Hasbro go nuts and do a Tiger Force torpedo, because that would be outstanding. Anyway, next up after torpedo, we've got Copperhead. Oh yes, here we go. Right, so this is an interesting one as well, isn't it? What do you think of Copperhead here, pal?
I do. I don't really have the space for many vehicles, but I do have one of these in my collection. So I love this. I think it's perfect vehicle, and there we go, Copperhead. There, he's got a great design, and with all of these sort of molded on elements like that pistol that he's got there on his chest. When you get into the classified era, you can do those things. There's a real pistol that you can actually have a holster on and sort of take it out. So yeah, he's a cool design. I've always had a soft spot for Copperhead, even though he wasn't used nearly enough in the comic books. And he looks like he's got just a ton of interesting accessories there.
Yeah, a lot of interesting gear there, isn't there? Like kind of like the weird ass pistols that he's got on there, and also that huge machete is wicked. And then obviously the secondary, the belt loop with I guess with the machete holster in it. You've got I guess that's one of those back things for your guns, similar to Stalkers, like that. I forget what they called them. Just like backpack holsters, I think. Or like it's kind of like a sheath in a weird way, like a rifle sheath, a rifle holster. But yeah, you can see like again, like they've got the secondaries basically to the left hand side, so you can kind of see how they go on the actual figure to the right too.
So looks like you probably have one gun up there and one on his leg.
On his thigh, yeah, definitely.
His thigh, yeah.
Or maybe that big one goes in the back, on his backpack, maybe, and then the little pistol goes in the maybe that pistol isn't removable on the secondary on the top. I don't know.
I think it must be like that. Is it a Luger, like the German pistol?
I just assumed that was going in the thigh holster.
Or it could, or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe looks like maybe a Magnum or something. Maybe that goes in that big holster for it on his back, and they fit in the machete on his thigh.
That's what I assumed. Yeah, I assumed that. Oh, the machete's on his belt. I think you see that little secondary on about halfway down. I think that's where the machete slides in. It's going to be interesting to find out the details on this one. I must say. But looks good. And also, this opens the door again for Python Patrol Copperhead. So I'm excited to see those. And also, I didn't even mention
he does have on his thigh there. He does have a holster on the original one as well.
Fantastic.
So
they really are kind of They're finding those details, aren't they? And actually putting them to practice. I love that. I like also the fact that I didn't mention at the beginning, but the Televiper means we can get a Python Patrol Televiper. So I'm just really happy we're getting more of these Python Patrol figures because they're amazing. Boink, boink. Anyway, yeah, Grounded. I'm very much about the realism in G.I. Joe. And another cool head sculpt as well. Looks like it's going to be, it doesn't look like it's going to be a removable helmet.
Fixed, yeah.
What do you think about that?
It's okay. I mean, it's what we grew up with, isn't it? So it's not. I don't think not every single character has to have a removable helmet. So why
Who
not?
knows?
I mean,
yeah, okay, fair enough. Anyway, let's move on from Copperhead and get into the last reveal of the day. Yeah, it's Shipwreck, guys. It's Shipwreck and Polly. Polly's there on his shoulder. Look, it doesn't look like, from what we can see, it doesn't look like Polly is going to be articulated, but she's very small by the looks of things. So I've got a feeling it's just going to be in that pose, and then it's going to clip onto what looks like the ropes across his shoulder, which is actually quite an inventive way of doing it, isn't it? You don't kind of mess with the figure itself really there, do you?
Yeah, clever. Yeah.
All hail, Cobra Commander. The great snake rolls forever.
And also, I will say that they did a really good job of having a little extra addition on Spirit's kind of gauntlet on his left
Okay.
arm, where Freedom can hoss in and just hang out.
That's
so,
like a little indentation.
Yeah, 2 little holes, and on the feet of Freedom, he's got like open kind of claws, and then there's a little kind of like a little plug in the middle that kind of slots into the holes. I could have just shown you. Instead, I decided to describe it. But a removable hat, which is awesome. Unless I think it's removable hat with hair, like a Lady J job, isn't it? This is a Lady J job.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. I was wondering what on the image it sort of looks like it comes down the side. I was sort of wondering about that, but yeah, it must be the hair, and then it's gone. Yeah, as you say, Lady J job. Yeah,
a Lady J job is when you have a figure with a wig hair and a hat with wig inside it hair, and that's all it's ever going to be. All right, trust me on that. Cool. Yeah, so we've got the ropes are really awesome. I like that as well. Really good idea, and obviously the pistols make sense. The little what is that kind of little harpoon hook job as well that he has. There's a lot of cool stuff on the Shipwreck. I like it. I'm really excited, and Shipwreck looks brilliant, doesn't he? In Classified.
His face sculpt's got a lot of personality to it. When I looked at it, I thought to myself that it looked like Carl. I think he's called Carl Urban off of the Boys, the Billy Butcher characters. Sort of that beard and slick back hair.
Big time. He does look like that massively, actually. I love the hair. The hair's great as well. Great head sculpt and beard. Awesome stuff. Anyway, wow. Like, really excited about this. This has been a really exciting, fun panel. I wasn't expecting all of this. Like, we knew that a lot of this was coming, but we thought they were going to spread this out. It would appear as though they've given up on spreading things out and they're just making more things is what they've decided to do, which is unreal.
Everything.
But, Shipwreck, what else? We've got Shipwreck, Copperhead, Torpedo, Rock and Roll. We've got Cobra Commander, the Hiss Tank, the female gunner, the driver, the tactician. We've got Serpentor and his air chariot. Look at all of this stuff. And then they've thrown in a retro card back Snake Eyes and a retro card back Crimson Guard, which is actually very good news for those who want to army build the Crimson Guard, in my opinion. Anyway, amazing stuff. I've just ignored the comments. Sorry, guys, that was rude of me. But we're kind of like. Go for it.
I did have a question. While we got retro card back Crimson Guards on the screen,
there he is.
What do you? Because normally the retro figures have got something fairly, some fairly big differences between that and the standard release. What do you think this guy is going to have different about him versus the standard Crimson Guard release?
From what I can tell, he comes with what looks to be the same stuff as the other Crimson Guard is going to come with. I'd have to have a look at one of those reveal images for the Crimson Guard just to see if it comes with everything that comes with. But I would imagine it's just going to be a slight deco change. And it's not like they can change the Crimson. So maybe there'll be something done on some of the details. Again, it's really hard to make out with the image. That sounds gross. It's really hard to kiss the image, obviously. But I think I would say they might even have just not bothered making any changes and just gone, here you go, it's on a retro card back, and also you're going to be able to get you're going to be able to get like way more of them now. So maybe they're not changing anything about it at all, is what I'm thinking. You're on mute, by the way, Mark, so I can't. No one can hear you.
It's because it's my dog's barking. I was thinking possibly they might just go more vibrant with the color, but
could be. But like I said, I think they want to keep it. So I mean, this might be one of those things where it's like they're just going to go. Oh, here is a ton of Crimson Guards. What have you found? What have you spotted?
Luke has said silver faceplate instead of black faceplate.
Oh, good spot, Luke.
Good eye. Good
genius. That's brilliant. Thank you, Luke. Silver faceplate instead of a black faceplate for the Crimson Guard. That'd be quite cool. It'd be almost like having a Crimson Guard. It gets ridiculous, doesn't it? A Crimson Guard officer or a Crimson Guard like squad leader or something. But yeah, that's a great spot. Fantastic stuff. Cool. Okay. Oh, no backpack. That's another good shout. No, the backpack's on him. You can see it poking over his shoulders. It's just not on show in the side, but the backpack is there. It's poking up over his shoulders, and the figure stand is to the bottom left, if that's what you mean. So they've got the stand and they've got the backpack. Oh, great! Lots of new images on his tank. Fantastic. We will be sharing those forthwith. Yeah, all from there's some beauties actually. Yeah, like some of these. It's like, do you want to share your screen, Mark, and get his tank up?
Yeah, if you should be able to click. I've just got one of the Serpentor up there at the moment, just from a different angle. Again, one of the booth displays.
Brilliant.
That is looking very cool, and you've got a bit of the box art there in the background now as well. Looking
very nice indeed. I am stoked. Any other images on his tank at the moment? I think it's all Serpentor. There's some beauties, some good close-ups. Check his tank out now. It looks phenomenal. Oh, the air chariot has got little landing gear, like little legs that come out of it. Oh, that is amazing. Did not know that was happening. Yeah, this is a next level piece of gear, and it looks as though there's a snake skin effect on the cape as well, like not embossed, almost like pressed into the back, which creates like almost like a pattern. It's incredible.
Sorry.
He's number 50. He's number
Chris,
57.
I've mucked up your settings. Sorry, just stop sharing. There we go.
Sorry, I was too busy. Everyone sees
I can
how
try and find.
Everyone sees how the sausage is made.
Find the his tank while we're doing
it. People are finding lots of different changes up on the actual Crimson Guard. The backpack is red instead of black now. That's another good point, Ed. Thank you. What else we got? Pistol holsters are different. Wave 10 all black, retro red on it. Brilliant. Retro holster on left thigh too. Oh, cool. So there are some differences on that. Interesting. I wasn't really thinking at all there would be any, but that's really awesome. Yeah, the Crimson Guard. Oh, mate, the Crimson Guard is actually on show in the booth as well. Man, I'm just completely ignoring now the channel and just looking at all of the amazing pictures. Oh, the artwork on the box. Yeah, if you just want to go on his tank and share that, mate. Have you done it?
I've just pinged it up on the screen there, Chris. I can shoot through.
Yeah, just shoot through all of them because I think these are fantastic.
Oh, and also, there we go. The back of the air chariot. Those are going to be perfect for a roadblock, aren't they?
Fantastic. Yeah, the Crimson Guard does look different and it looks pretty cool actually. Yeah, well into that. I wonder if it's like some sort of comic inspiration or maybe, I don't know. But look at that card, the box art. Look, Serana, I didn't know it was you. The figure standing in front of it, obviously. Look at that. That's so
his
cool.
First appearance from, I think it's issue 49 of the ARA comic, where he comes out of the tank and he sort of pulls on a cloak before he gets all of the gold armor.
Brilliant.
And
absolutely
then he's sat up on the is it Lincoln Memorial?
Yep.
That's from Serpentor, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. When the Action Force team disguise themselves as the President and the Secret Service. That is Snake Eyes retro card back Snake Eyes. So again, a little bit, quite a few differences on this figure. They've gone with a different secondary, obviously, to make him more like, the retro, the original version. And it looks like there's a slight difference in the paint deco there, which is kind of cool. Awesome. Nice one.
Just holding up my Snake Eyes to compare, to see if I could figure out any differences there.
It looks pretty cool actually in that with the that web gear. I like that. And then he's got his satchel, he's got his Uzi. He's an Uzi lover. Get him into that. Oh yeah, look at that. That air chariot is dope. If there's one picture of the air chariot right underneath and it shows the 3 little legs that come out and it lands on them, it's superb. Naked HD back in the house. Hello.
Oh, there we go. There's the little legs.
Look at that. Little landing gear. Absolutely fantastic. Just loving every
Nice.
second
That's
of that.
paying attention to the detail.
In it. Absolutely. I love that one. That's a good picture.
This one.
That one. That is brilliant. A few Cobra Troopers in the background.
Although it's better. You can see more clearly the gun in the mouth of the snake there.
Oh, yeah. That's wicked. Lovely little detail. Absolutely superb. I'm just constantly just having to block naked HD while we're continuing to look through these. Absolutely stunning. Really cool. I'm glad we were on long enough for them to post these pictures, because it means I don't have to do even more work afterwards and another recap. Oh, look at the engine, like almost like with a
just hidden away, isn't it?
Yeah. I like there's a bit of like flame in there as well, like a little bit of color to make it look hot. That's wicked. Love that. Oh, this is great. Brilliant stuff. A little bit of detail there on the steering mechanism too. Kind of a little sticker or a tampo or something.
Yeah.
With like a very old school, like you're gonna be upside down if you don't correct yourself, kind of a wibbly wobbly generator. I like it.
Yeah, that's what's technical term.
No, it's a technical term. This is great. Some great shots of that. Do they have any other the figure images on there? Because that's some good close-ups. That's some good close-ups of the head of the.
Oh, there we go. There's the back of.
There you go. You can make out
you
can make out the snake pattern on it. Brilliant. That's
nice.
Lovely. I like that. I wonder if there are any pictures of the back of Mindbender's cloak, because we still haven't seen that. He looks so good. So good. Yeah, this is great. This is great. It's going to be, look, a few people asking about the prices again. It's going to be an expensive one, I think. But again, who knows? It could be way up there, and it could be, we'll find out eventually, and then we can cry about it then. But for the moment, we can just go, this dude is, and he's massive as well, isn't he? He is absolutely, look at those arms. He is a big old figure. 7 inches, wasn't it, apparently?
Yeah, someone was saying in the comments that he's a little bit bigger than the regular 6-inch. So.
Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Cool. Loads of images. We are literally going through every single one on his tank right now, guys.
So let's. Is there anything else that you wanted me to jump to? No, it's just Serpentor, really, isn't it?
Serpentor, Snake Eyes, and the Crimson Guard, isn't it, basically? But that's great. So yeah, go check those out. Oh, that's the best one in it. What a lovely picture that is. There it is. Yeah, really excited for that figure. My goodness. Well, I guess that kind of like nicely brings it to a close, our recap today, Mark. But before we go, let's switch to just our two faces. Two faces. Yes, thanks for all the comments, guys. Thank you for jumping on and joining us, and also thank you, Mark, for joining us all the way from Talking Joe HQ.
Yes, indeed.
I know it's a bit late for you now. It's about 10:15, is it, your end?
10:15. Yeah, I've been allowed to stay up late tonight, so. Well, don't bank on this. I can't get away with this sort of behaviour all the time, but today.
Amazing. Well, I really appreciate it, buddy. And yeah, very excited for all the reveals today. Very excited for all the images that are coming out as well. And I'll be sharing them as soon as we get off. In fact, I might as well do it while we're talking. No, I can't multitask anyway. It's not going to work. Guys, thank you so much for jumping on and chatting with us in the comments. I'll probably be back again very soon with another news burst in the next few minutes. Again, you can check out Mark on Talking Joe on all of the platforms. Check him out on YouTube. You tell him, Mark. It's your show. Yeah,
talkingjoe.co.uk is the website that points to all of the places we are. So a regular weekly podcast, and on YouTube as well, generally as well. So covering the latest in the comics, and also a look back at the Devil's Due years, as well as all other sorts of interesting stuff.
I'm supposed to be joining you for one of those soon, right?
Yeah, we'll get you on. We'll get you on one of these days. Yeah.
if we're not both ridiculously busy and
Exactly. We'll just have to wait for a day when loads of G.I. Joe news isn't coming out, which
it has
seems
been
to be never.
2 solid months so far of this, and even I am getting exhausted by it all, but it is amazing. I wouldn't have it any other way. Guys, thank you for jumping on in the chat. Really appreciate all the comments and all that good stuff. Yeah, like I said, we'll be back probably very soon for another news burst. Thank you, Mark. You know what to do now, everyone, at the end of these shows. After 3, 1, 2, 3, full force. I'm just going to check to see if other people have done it. If they haven't, Bryn's done one. Bryn's done one. That's all I needed.
Well done, Bryn. Well done.
Also, this is just for Mark, and this is again showing you how the sausage is made. You can stay on and we'll chat afterwards if you want, buddy, for a few moments.
All right.
But
cool.
we are gonna go now. So see you guys on the next one, and full force. Bye.
Boy.
That's it for this instalment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @The Full Force, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/The Full Force, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.